Welcome to this episode of How Not to Draw with Dark and
Ribbit.
How to Be Weird with Spark, clearly.
Hi. Well, it's lovely to stare at a blank sheet of paper for like 20 minutes, but here we have line drawing.
And
yes, so entertaining. People watch it for hours and hours, and yet still don't seem quite satisfied because it's line drawing. But when it's done, it's still line drawing.
I have to disagree with the line drawing because not one of them lines is straight enough to be a line.
A line does not have to be straight. They have curved lines and a bunch of other ones I'm not going to name because I don't remember the names.
And this is how not to draw a straight line because I suck at those, so.
Honestly, from where I sit, I can hardly see anything at all. But I know there's a boulder there. I'm kind of off-angled from the screen, so I can't see hardly anything. That's why I'm not making a judgment of what looks like a hand coming out of the moat. Or whatever. It might be a tree. I'm not sure.
I think he is so far doing a good job at guessing some of the items on here, and so far away from
I'm
others.
waiting for a bog monster or like a crocodile chewing on something. Maybe a person like near the gate entrance and he's like halfway on the land, but this torso is being chewed on by a crocodile.
Well, this is an Inktober challenge that I did take on, and since it is October, I did decide to do a more Halloween,
a more traditional theme of having
a
more traditional theme of the Kraken coming down from the sky and raging wrath upon the land.
No, that would not be it. But
I know it's not like traditional at all. But come.
That is our cat disagreeing with Sparks laying arrangement.
She's very vocal.
She does not feel like cuddling right now.
I'm not cuddling.
Maybe
she's laying on me. All right.
She's mad because he won't cuddle with her. Maybe. All right. Back to the.
You should have done an archer on one of the podiums getting mauled by something.
We haven't finished a drawing yet. How do you know what is and isn't there?
Because you started at the end of the video and had to rewind.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rapunzel's not, like, in the background either, you know?
I didn't say Rapunzel had to be in there. Although, it would be totally, she'd be being pulled up, not letting her hair down. She'd have a horrified look on her face. Or even more mortifying, hung by her own hair.
Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair, so that I might climb up and use my big teeth to eat you, my dear.
You can't see it, but I'm giving her a weird look for you. So you don't have to, but you still will.
Well, the big bad wolf. That's a fairy tale twist right there.
What, that he's in the wrong story, or that he's climbing a tower?
Yeah, well, if you're hungry enough. I mean, he did break into Grandma's house and hide Grandma on his fat gut.
Grandma's house was on the first floor. It was on ground level.
And there is Rapunzel back there.
Is that Rapunzel? It kind of just looks like... It kind of just looks like a person with a shadow going, "Oh, praise the window."
There's hair hanging out of that.
Is that hair? It kind of looked like vines.
And this is the reason it's how not to draw. Because that is how not to draw hair by Rapunzel.
By Rapunzel? Rapunzel's drawing hair now.
No, Rapunzel had a disagreement with what her hair looked like when I finished with this, so...
Well, I would too. It looks like 2 sticks.
I'm sure she has a lecture.
4.
I'm sure she has her own YouTube lecture on how not to draw hair.
It'd be funny to see one of those who does like Disney princesses and complain on you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know any channel that does that, but I know they exist somewhere.
I am sorry. Rapunzel is not a Disney princess. She just happened to be added to the category. She was a Brothers Grimm first. And
well, I mean, a lot of them were,
and possibly could have been in stories before that.
Yes, they were told in bedtime to scare little children into never letting their hair down for strangers.
I don't think that was the story of
I don't.
that.
You don't think that's the moral of the story, huh?
No, the moral of the story was not to have little children not let down their hair for strangers. The moral of the story was
The tortoise and the hare. No.
probably more along the lines of the witch and such
Don't.
things.
What you're saying? The moral of the story was don't kidnap girls with magical hair. I mean,
Probably not stealing magical flowers out of witches' gardens would be a start.
I mean, technically, in the Disney movie, that didn't happen. They took it from the wilderness. They didn't steal it from anyone except Mother Nature. Maybe.
I don't know. I haven't really paid too much attention to that story. All I know is he pokes his eyes out with thorns when he falls from a window.
Hey. His eyes regenerate it, alright? That was the one thing
Lovely
that was
magic.
like alright in that story. I mean, I'm pretty sure they killed Mother Gothel in a more horrifying way than just shoving her out the window, like in the Disney version. But his eyes were fine at the end of it.
Oh, yeah.
This was one thing that was like completely good. Alright?
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't like Beauty and the Beast where they like... Well, that wasn't a Grimm's fairy tale, but you know what I mean. I just couldn't think of any off the top of my head.
This is how not to draw bricks, by the way.
No, if
You
want
want
to
to
make...
actually evenly space them apart, not just randomly draw them wherever you feel like it. But since this is a how not to draw
actually
tutorial, it
depends on the
doesn't matter what I do in it.
Depends on the area, but you want something in between the bricks.
That's what the lines
Either
are.
gaps or...
That's what the lines are.
So there's gaps all the way around. Huh.
That would be the, what is it? Motor?
I have
Martyr?
high
I
expectations.
can't think of how to pronounce
alright?
that word.
And, like, realistically, you can't draw it with just a pen ink, what I expect. But, you know, I'm picky that way.
Yeah, I was gonna call him something, but I changed my mind on that. But this is the entire reason this is how not to draw tutorial, because it really doesn't matter what I do. If it's wrong, it's a how not to draw. And that is the entire reason I went with that, because I know I'm not good enough at drawing.
It kind of looks like wood before
make
you
it
added
accomplish
the
anything.
lines. Like PlayStation 1, but... Or Nintendo 64 wood, but still wood.
I have graduated to
Nintendo 64, I would say
video,
it's actually older
very
than
old
that, but
system.
it's actually probably older than that. I just couldn't think of any consoles older than that other than like Nintendo, like the original.
For any of you have ever known the ghouls from Super Nintendo, I'm sure their art is much better than mine, and that's saying something.
Super Ghosts and Ghouls? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that would be the name of that.
It's like fixing to say, I don't know what you're talking about, ghouls. So is there a team of ghouls just drawing things now? Because, I mean, if Nintendo... I would not be surprised if Nintendo has hired a team of ghouls to just... Well, I say hire. I mean, has a team of ghouls just doing all their art. I mean, it's really cheaper that way. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney has something similar.
Let's down your hair.
Is he standing in the moat? Because that seems like a bad idea.
No, he's standing on a very crooked
Oh, okay. Well,
piece
the bridge,
plank that he's trying
just
to...
kind of loaded in.
And Rapunzel, I didn't draw her,
She has
just her hair, but she's either a
she has split
skeleton
ends.
or very huge. So when she comes down to him,
the trick
plop,
is
they want the moat.
the trick is they just tied a bunch of people's hair together and then tied it to the castle wall. So when he goes to pull on that, one of two things will happen: either a brick will fall on him, or the entire castle wall will fall on him.
Well, if you're looking at the castle,
or maybe just the castle will tip over on him. That would be
the
really
witch has either long abandoned it and forgot about her, or she is really good at blending.
I don't know.
Because
maybe she's the boulder outside.
Who's going to expect a Rapunzel to be in a castle that looks like this?
Well, being apparently the shadow dude over here was.
Well, maybe he's just hard up for some.
Or maybe he doesn't have a face.
I mean,
Maybe he's just a shadow.
that crooked little...
Maybe that's Rapunzel and she's reaching for her hair because when she jumped down, it ripped out of her head.
Well,
she's bald now.
That's probably her hand in the moat. Or the last guy who tried to save her. But...
It might be. Or it might just be her skeleton cousin George. I mean...
That rickety little piece of plywood is really not going to help him.
Oh, they got plywood now in, what is this, 11th century?
Let's go plank.
Probably older. Judging by the brickwork, I would say older than 11th century, since I have a little bit more even in the
It's also in disarray, so it could be modern century.
Oh, yeah, it could just be really lazy people from today's day and age.
That's probably why Rapunzel was forgotten.
Maybe it's just a model.
Might just be hanging out the window. That's probably
maybe it's
why
just
she's
a model of an old castle made by really lazy people who didn't bother to get the bricks symmetrical.
Or somebody who really sucks at drawing bricks, but because
Anyway.
But he's not safe, even if that was a sturdy plank he's standing on.
Who said it was a he? I'm pretty sure that's Rapunzel reaching for her hair.
Okay. That shadow figure is not safe on that plank because they are totally not realizing that whatever is in that moat...
Well, you say that,
with
but...
the tentacles could probably...
If they're a shadow, I'm pretty sure they can't be touched. I mean, unless a flashlight comes after him.
We don't know what's in that moat now. I mean, it could be...
We all know that Doom's flashlight is like the best weapon in the game, but I'm fairly certain it wasn't waterproof. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it's in that moat.
Yeah. Back from a short.
Yeah, we got pulled away, and we're back now. We might not remember what we were talking about, but that doesn't matter because I haven't been talking about anything in particular or of importance at all. So
nope.
I do remember it has something to do with the shadow figure, but yeah.
I was going to complain about my lack of being able to keep this on the screen, but it's back on now, so we're good.
Well, I mean, luckily you have me here, and I was too busy ranting on about whatever I was ranting on about to notice. And plus I just don't care.
Yeah, he's not paying that much attention, apparently.
And I'm pretty sure you have a demon on the second floor of the castle, and
I do?
Well, I mean, it could be, or it could just be like a bat, or maybe it's like a mask of a man who wears bat-like things.
Now I'm really interested in knowing.
It's like right where your finger is on the 3 bricks over on the one tower that's falling apart halfway.
Oh, that might just be shadow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be, but it kind of looks like a mask from a bat-like figure. You know what I mean. I'm not saying his name just in case, but you know what I mean.
It's Dracubat.
Smack you back. Smack you back. Oh, anyway.
And this is a day in the life of
You know what the
Dark
worst part is?
people.
The boulder is the most out of place thing there for some reason. It's really off-putting. I'm pretty sure you have a tentacle squid monster there. You have a skeleton hand. You have Rapunzel shadow puppet thing over there. You have the bat mask. And you have this really worn down castle. But the boulder is the most off-putting thing of this.
You know, the door kind of looks like a cat.
Yeah.
Well,
just looks like
my hand's in the way now, so you can't see
Your hand's always in the way of what we're pointing at. I point at the bat-like mask. Your hand's over it. I point at something else. Your hand's over it.
But look.
You point at something.
There's the head, and my hand is blocking the body again. Move the hand. Thank you. And there's the body. You just need a tail right there. And it's got really long legs, and the skull is kind of like the centerpiece for the legs. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. So you know what I said about the brick falling on that guy? Yeah, that one's totally about to fall. The one like on where he's near the tower, you can see where it's like leaning off the side precariously. I mean, it's not near like I think in 3-dimensional depth. I don't think he's anywhere near it, but like something might drag him over there to be hit.
Well, how not to draw, people? How not to draw a bush, because clearly everybody thinks it's a boulder.
Is that a bush? That's a bush. Oh my gosh. That's a bush. That's a bush. Does it harvest pebbles? It just doesn't grow pebbles on it.
Well,
Are they
go,
magically
everybody.
delicious and fruity? Or are they Cocoa Puff delicious? or maybe they're just stone cold,
They're just a little shrubby.
rock hard. and oh my gosh, it looks like you just carved a little bit of an angry face in the side of it.
Even the bush is mad about this.
It's just keeping its territory from that little shrub on the side there. Oh.
And it keeps going off the page again.
You have no one to blame
Get your
but
stuff
yourself.
together, Dark.
You have no one to blame but yourself.
Trying so hard not to cuss on this. Oh, look, the finished product.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
blood river.
Well, you know where that blood's coming from. It came from Rapunzel and it ripped out hair. I mean, it's not dark enough to be more than one person, right? I mean, it looks like someone drew it in with crayon. Well, maybe
It
colored
was
pencil.
colored pencil, and I
See?
never went back over it with marker. I kind of didn't feel like it.
But you see what I mean? Because that, like, right there, where the octopus, little creature, that kind of looks like a tire now.
Oh.
You see what I mean? It kind of looks like a tire now, and it's done.
It's a tentacle, but I see what he's talking about. Yeah, it kind of does look like a tentacle. I mean, a tire. It was actually supposed to be a floating skull, but...
that's a skull. Your bush looks like a boulder. Your skull looks like a tire. I mean, the thing in between the doorway looks like a skull. What's it supposed to be? A candy cane?
No, actually, that's a skull with a spider on its head.
Oh, I just thought it was an apple or bump, maybe like a horn.
And that could work too.
That's what it is. It's a skull with a horn. It's not a spider. Like, what do you think it is? I think it's this. That's exactly what it is. Good eye.
Exactly.
That's just what you need to start doing.
And this is clearly how not to draw a castle. How
A
not to
bush.
draw a bush.
Bush, definitely.
And definitely how not to draw a skull in the water. I mean,
But
blood
no,
river.
right there by the tire. What is it called? Not Arctic Rush. Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid River. Right there by the tire, next to the castle, it kind of looks like a shrub. Like, there's 3 little spikes coming out. I think there might be rocks. I'm not sure. Kind of looks like a little shrub. And the little 2 dark lines on the boulder bush, the rolling stone as it was, it kind of looks like it's like angry at it, and it's like protecting its territory.
Yeah, I kind of get lost in this image now, so...
Right there.
I know what you're talking about. I mean,
I'm trying to be descriptive because I can't like
very
point it out on screen. So
lost.
On star. Oh, I see the bat mask actually kind of looks more like a P or maybe a B.
Oh yeah. It was actually background.
I know what it is. It's a background castle tower, isn't it?
And that is how not to draw background castle pieces.
This is why
clearly.
it's not to draw.
Yes, this is exactly why it's not to draw, because Spark will point out all the failures.
I mean, his little bridge looks a lot more secure than anything else, honestly.
Well, that's good to know. He might not die from it breaking on him, but
The tire will just come around and bump him off of it.
Fix to say that tentacle is totally going to take him out.
Yeah, I think it's working on someone else right now. Either that or it's something to stick.
No, that's actually a hand.
It could be a bush. I mean, tree or something.
I mean, at one point in time, it actually had a bite out of it, but I really was bad at the inking on that.
It sunk in a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still under the water. Just use your imagination, and it's a castle full of unicorns and kittens
And
being eaten by
wondrous
zombies.
things. Oh, yeah.
And there's a witch in there somewhere, apparently.
Well, we're going to go
Says
ahead.
the artist. I'm not, which I am not, so.
The witch is kind of a new thing, but yeah.
No, you mentioned something about it. And the most spookiest thing of all.
Because we got on Rapunzel.
The spookiest thing of all is that they have a calendar in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
It just counts down the days till their inevitable doom.
That would be the date.
Yes, but it's in the picture, so I'm just making note of it.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this How Not to Draw.
Are we really?
Probably, because we have some things that we want to watch that are not
I
involving
am.
this.
Right behind the tire, it says I am. I don't think that's actually what it meant, but...
I am a tire, or I am dead.
It just kind of looks like an I and M, so M.
That was totally not meant to happen,
But
sure.
It kind of does look like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like...
Anyway.
And there's been something that's been bothering me for a while, but I haven't pointed out. Okay, so you see where the hair goes up to the top of the tower? It kind of looks like either like a spotlight, a cauldron, or like one of those things that reels in rope. And so I've been thinking of it as one of those things that reels in rope, right? But then I said cauldron, and it kind of hit me. It's not hair. It's molten lead being poured onto this guy down here. It's one of the safety features that still works. He just got really unlucky. That's why it doesn't look like hair.
And he totally wanted Rapunzel, and he is gonna get some fluffy kittens in the afterlife.
Either that, or it's like really, they got the really cheap cauldron and hot lead.
See, this is
and
just...
it like melted, and like it was melted, but when they poured it over, it didn't quite get there before it cooled back to a solid. And he's like, that's why he's sitting there praying, because he's like thanking the gods.
See, this here is just a remnant.
A revenant?
A shadow of what happened.
Oh, a remnant. Okay.
He is completely reliving the moment of his death over and over and over for eternity.
You sure it's the Shadow Man, or is it the skull?
It might be all of them.
Or maybe it's you looking at this picture, because we all know it's the one we see the lens through. You know what I mean? I said it really weird, but you know what I mean. The one who has the perspective, the first perspective, and the last perspective, but not the perspective in between perspectives.
And before this gets any longer, we're going to wrap this up this time. And that was a How Not to Draw any of the aforementioned objects.
The video was shorter than the audio.
Clearly.
And will be in all our videos, I'm sure. Because of me, not because of her.
Yeah, because I'm normally the mute of the two.
She's the quiet one. I'm the awkward quiet one that isn't quiet at all. But, you know, the one who...
He's that spark that'll never shut up. And I'm the dark quiet one in the corner.
I'm the spark that keeps lighting fire. Is that what you're trying to say?
And this has been another How Not to Draw with Spark and Dark.